Traveling around the country, talking to the radio announcers, the church people and the street people, telling them that God has smiled on me. God has smiled on you if you got breath in your body. If he woke you up this morning and started you on your way. But I want to tell you some stories of people that God smiled on. We know the story of Dr. Martin Luther King, how he started way back in Montgomery, Alabama in 1955, trying just to get dignity, trying to get respect. And he went all the way to the mountaintop. But he didn't forget about the brothers in the valley. He didn't forget about those trapped in the alley. And I hear Brother Martin King saying, God has smiled on me. He's been good to me. Let me tell you, God has smiled on me. It's been so good to me. Then I see as Dr. King went on, another man stepped into the forefront by the name of John F. Kennedy, who rose up and said, let's not stand back. Let's not wait for a handout. Let's wait for a way out. He said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. He said, don't us gravel and don't us moan, because God done smile on us. Let me say it. God has smiled on me. He has set me free. Let me say it. Yeah. One more time. I want to say it real slow. It's Friday, August 22nd. Do you know what time it is? It's Sharpton's time. And for the next 3 hours, it's time to put aside all pretenses, deception, denial, or fronting. The time has come to keep it real on Keeping It Real with Reverend Al Sharpton. A very good afternoon to you all across the country. And good morning to our West Coast listeners, and to you that are listening live and on our message page at National Action Network. It is Exhale Friday. On Friday, we let you call in and talk about whatever's on your mind, whatever's in your heart. All you have to do is call us at 1-877-532-5797, 1-877-532-5797. And I am looking, the message page is really, really rolling this morning. Danielle Stinney Jr. says, hey, Reverend Al. Hey to you, Danielle. Lavelle Magby says, yes, every time I look in the mirror, I can see God is smiling. I feel the same way, Lavelle, because if it was up to me,
and my own devices, I wouldn't be able to look in the mirror. God spared us, and I am thankful to God for that, no doubt about it. I see the Mayor Rodney Jones checked in. He's on the message page. And of course, James Thomas, so many of you already plugged in. XL Friday, so much to talk about. And on XL Friday, you talk about whatever's on your mind, whatever's in your heart. By now, many of you know the top of the news is the FBI raided the house and offices of John Bolton, who was a senior national security advisor, in a probe for classified records. And they went to his home and his office. And unlike most FBI directors, the FBI director, Kash Patel, posted something sort of like mocking the going of at his house. It is interesting. Trump, who raised all kind of sand about them coming to his house, coming to Mar-a-Lago, getting his documents, now is going to make this attack on Bolton, who used to be national security advisors, worked with Trump, and then fell out with Trump because he disagreed with Trump on policies. And now you got to remember when they went and took stuff from Trump's houses, they had asked for him to turn in stuff. They'd given him time. He violated the timeline. They went as a last resort. I do not know if that's the case with Bolton. It is unusual to just raid somebody unless they have been unreceptive or disrespectful of the subpoenas or the requests. But we'll see. Same time, we see that Trump is threatened to fire Lisa Cook, who's a Fed governor, and he's saying that she has been looked upon on some kind of mortgage fraud. Bill Pult, the Federal Housing Finance Agency director, accused her of mortgage fraud, claiming she falsified records to get a better loan terms and even calling for a Justice Department investigation. Now, it's the same thing that they are trying to get Tish James on. So I guess the new thing is mortgage fraud. What is interesting is Trump as president and the governor of the Fed threatening to fire her when she's just been accused. She hasn't even been indicted. This just announced an investigation. Oh, you through. Well, maybe I missed something. I do sleep 5 or 6 hours at night. I don't sleep 8 hours, but I do 5 or 6. So maybe I missed something. But I thought we had in the White House somebody that had been convicted 34 times for felonies and was found guilty of defrauding banks. Even though they took the penalty down yesterday, they said, yeah, he did defraud the banks. So the same people calling on these people to resign based on accusations, I know that they're going to say somebody ought to resign if they've been convicted. Trump is not being accused. Trump was convicted by a jury of 34 felonies and convicted by a jury of defrauding banks. Let's be real clear. So what is the legal precedent that you're going to ask a black woman, Lisa Cook, one of the governors in the Fed, to step aside based on what is now an accusation maybe an investigation, certainly not even a charge, and clearly not a conviction. What is the basis of it? Other than it's different strokes for different folks. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how they're going at the Smithsonian, saying they find some of the exhibits objectionable, and again, saying that you can't just talk about the bad side of slavery. Well, pray tell me what was the good side. The only good side anyone could look is got to be the slave master saying, I made a lot of money and didn't have to pay my workers. If that's what you want to call good, it was good for him. There was no good side for the slaves or their descendants or the country. It made the country known all over the world as one of the worst form of slavery, if not the worst form of slavery, recorded in human history. So let me get this right. He wants the black attorney general of New York prosecuted for mortgage fraud. He wants the black woman that's a governor at Federal Reserve prosecuted for mortgage fraud. He's taken over Washington, D.C., and said the black mayor out there does not know how to control the city, black woman. And that he went and saw last night, went and viewed the National Guard and talked to them and encouraged them. Got them coming in the city, even though they cannot make arrests, but they're all over the place, demilitarized it. And I'm on my way to D.C. after the rally tomorrow here in Harlem, because I'm preaching at Howard University on Sunday morning. And he wants all of the bad news of the slave rebellion and other things taken out of the Smithsonian. But y'all say he's not racist. He just has swagger. I mean, I think somebody said yesterday on the phone on this show, where are all of my Trump apologists that were calling when the election was going on? Because I'm sure they can explain to me what a good side of slavery is. Happiness Donuts saying there was no good side of slavery. Thank you, ancestors, for your sacrifice. I mean, Trump supporters, tell me where is the good side of slavery, because I missed it. And say you got somebody, Darren Bailey on the message board calling me the N-word. I guess I hit a nerve. You done lost it. You probably sitting at your job, and the people working with you there, Darren, don't have no world idea how you feel. But you sat there and hit those keys and called me the N-word because you just can't take it. I'm just out of place. Don't know my place. How dare I question Trump's racism? How dare Darren Bailey said, yeah, I'm calling you out. You can put your name on my board, so I figured you wanted the publicity. Since you're going to call me an N-word, you bold enough to do that? I'm bold enough to read it on the air. Because I've been a baby, I've been a boy, I've been a young man, I've been an adult, I've been a middle-aged man, I'm going into my older manhood. But I ain't never been a punk, and I ain't never been a nigger. So you got the right one you sent the message to, because I'm going to make the message back. I just wish you'd send a photo. I'd make you famous. I'd put you on my TV show and show these are the kind of people that we got to deal with in America. Send me a photo. Since you was bold enough to call me the N-word, send me a photo. I'm gonna make you famous. I want to help PR you. I don't even want you to pay me the PR fee, because I want folks to know the people that we dealing with. These are people that's going in Washington, D.C. These are people saying black women shouldn't be on the Federal Reserve or the Attorney General. These people, come on, send me the photo. You got enough nerve to call me that? Have enough nerve to send me a picture. Let me help the world know who you are. Let me take a break. We'll be right back. Keeping it real, that's what I do. Sharpton, that's my name. It's Exhale Friday. Keep it real.
Of reference. 400 years later, it's time to do some assessing where we came from. While Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina, and Mississippi take the hits, the real trade market for commerce and cotton was New York. The port of New York. As a matter of fact, Joe, the first state to end slavery was Vermont. It was all the way up the coast. The big shipbuilders became enriched off of our enslavement. Say our people are not slaves, they are ancestors. They may be slaves, the person, they're our ancestors, they're our foreparents. The money is made off of the commodity. We were the commodity in the commodity exchange. And they would import Africans. They export cotton and tobacco. And they built the whole economic system around Wall Street. Africans, because they feared the Indians would attack the Dutch, built a wall on Wall Street. That's what they named it Wall Street. It's the Africans, the logs and trees, they built a wall around Wall Street to keep the Indians from attacking the Dutch. So Wall Street was named after us. There's a burial ground on Wall Street, which we should all visit. Those are our foreparents. At some point, they moved us to the other end of Manhattan, which is Harlem. So we are on the same island as Manhattan. Manhattan, Harlem, Wall Street, on the same island. Harlem is right down the road from Wall Street. That's interesting that most of our leaders who all get different cases never quite got to march on Wall Street.
That was Reverend Jesse Jackson speaking at National Action Network's House of Justice in 2020, saying that we'd ignored dramatizing, putting the spotlight on the economic inequalities, the economic issues of this country by never having marched on Wall Street en masse. Well, on August 28th, 5 years later, we're going to do just that. Because with this big, beautiful bill, which is a big, ugly bill that cuts Medicaid and SNAP, with the ending of diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and initiatives in the private sector, which gives blacks and others jobs, contracts for businesses, making sure we make the C-suite based on our merit and not excluded because we didn't have the family background in a given place, whether it be academic or business. The people that benefited from that are the ones on Wall Street that deal with the stock markets, that deal with the Dow Jones, that deal with making trade off of the decisions of those that supported the Trump initiatives in this area. So we are not this year going to Washington on the anniversary of the March on Washington. On the anniversary of the March on Washington, we're going to Wall Street. And Reverend Jackson, we're going to do what you said. Thousands of us are going to nonviolently but firmly come and say that the dream cannot be deferred. by tax cuts for the rich and cutting those out that need food assistance, that need support with health care and other economic policies that have choked the middle class and the poor. August 28, 2025, go to www.nationalactionnetwork.net, get the details. Meet us 10 a.m. at the African Burial Ground and be ready to march. Buses are coming from all over the country. Go to that website or call 1-877-626-4651. No justice, no peace. Hi, I'm Reverend Al Sharpton, President of National Action Network. August 28, 1963, there were many that gathered in Washington for the historic March on Washington. And many of us grew up hearing the speech Dr. King gave that day, I Have a Dream. But in that speech, he talked about America giving the Negro, blacks, a check that has bounced in the bank of history. So this August 28th, Thursday leading into Labor Day weekend, we that usually go to Washington to commemorate, we're having the Memorial March on Wall Street. Why are you going to Wall Street, Reverend Al? Because the people that have benefited from the check bouncing on Medicaid with this big, beautiful bill that took SNAP from people that need food assistance, they're on Wall Street, trading every day, doing the stock market every day. When is the last time we've had a mass march, nonviolent but determined, right there where they know, we know who you are, and we will not support the companies that undermine and finance our being destabilized. Join me, the National Action Network, and Martin Luther King III, August 28, 10 a.m. We're going to march from the African Burial Ground just 1 mile to the Bull in the middle of Wall Street and have our rally. I want the faith community particularly to be there. Dr. King always built from the church. We need to be a witness in these times. People say, Reverend Al, I'm tired of marching. I say, what's the last march you've been to? Most of you never marched. This is your time to show up and stand up. God bless you. Oh, do I seem excited? I am excited because this Saturday, the National Action Network Saturday Action Rally starts live on WBLS 107.5 FM in New York. We're going to expand. Every Saturday morning, we're live on WBLS 107.5 from 10 a.m. to 11. You'll hear the message. You'll feel the energy. You'll be involved. You won't be sitting around talking about, oh my God, look at what's happening. You'll be involved in dealing with what's happening. I'm excited, and you should be excited too. Turn on WBLS 10 a.m. every Saturday morning. I have a message for you. And if you want to, you can come to the House of Justice and be there live. 145th Street and Lenox Avenue. We kick off at 9, and we don't stop until we deal with getting our people energized.
Thank you for joining us for Weekdays Live with Reverend Al Sharpton. Take the time to share this broadcast right now. Tell your friends it's time to keep it real with Reverend Al. Comment your questions now in the chat or call Reverend Al Sharpton directly on air at 877-532-5797. Now stay tuned for Reverend Al.
This is Reverend Al Sharpton. As you watch the broadcast, support National Action Network. Go to www.nationalactionnetwork.net and be involved. You can join Take your membership right online, www.nationalactionnetwork.net. Getting ready to start the program, but we need you to be part of the movement. Keeping it real.
You live, Rev?
Keeping it real. Keeping it real. Keeping it real. I'm your host. Keeping it real. Reverend Al Sharpton. 1-877-532-5797, 1-877-532-5797, or you can go to our live stream at nationalactionnetwork.net and put a message in the message on the message board. In fact, I'm looking at the message board now. Alice Cole says, good morning, Reverend Al. Alice Cole joining you from California. May God bless you, Rev, and keep up the great work. Well, thank you, Alice. Lucky Gambino says, good afternoon from the Bahamas. All right. Listening and watching from the Bahamas. Let me say by way of announcements, don't forget, tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, watch Politics Nation with Al Sharpton. I'll be live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on MSNBC. Among the people I'm going to have tomorrow is I'm going to have the ranking member of the Armed Services Committee in Congress. I'm going to really dig deep into this whole thing of what is real and what is not about what's going on with Ukraine, what's going on with Gaza, and what's going on with Sudan. We have one of the council members from D.C., one of the D.C. at-large council members about the takeover of President Trump of D.C., and I'm going to have state officials that have been getting death threats in various states about ICE. And then on Sunday, we're going to have the latest on the redistricting fight in Texas. I'm going to have State Rep Collier, who spent the night on the, I guess it would be the well of the state legislature. She refused to sign the permission slip for them to follow her around, so I'm going to have her on among other state legislators, member of Congress. So it's going to be a heavy weekend. You don't want to miss either night. Saturday or Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on MSNBC. Then, of course, I want you that are in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area to join me in the morning at the House of Justice in Harlem, 145th Street and Lenox Avenue, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We're going to deal with all these issues, and we're going to get ourselves all wired up and ready for Thursday's march. We've got buses coming from about 12 cities and counting. I know we paid for 12 out of Nan and counting. Some people are getting in as early as Tuesday to be here for the march on Wall Street. But you that are here in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area, be at the rally in the morning. Meet me at the rally, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the House of Justice, 145th Street and Lenox Avenue. And then following the rally, right at 11, they're starting the funeral services of Lloyd Williams, chair of the Uptown Chamber of Commerce, lifetime member of National Action Network. We'll be going right over to his funeral. And, of course, Thursday is the march. And already thousands have signed up saying they're coming. As I said, we are sending buses to a dozen cities and states. Wall Street needs to really be the backdrop. While they are trying to take over places like Washington, we need to have a nonviolent economic takeover of Wall Street Thursday. Anniversary of the March on Washington, every 5 years, Martin Luther King III and Drum Major Institute and Nan and I have commemorated not the date, but on the date, saying, now what is the state of the dream? The state of the dream this time is that the economic barons, the industry barons, are the ones that are making money while the people in this country are suffering. They got the tax breaks, they've ended DEI. That's why we're going to Wall Street. We usually do it in Washington every 5 years. But for whatever reason, we were led to go to Wall Street. And I had no idea when I said, let's do Wall Street, that there would be this National Guard stuff going on in Washington. So I'm glad that we followed the spirit and went to Wall Street and not Washington, so they can't have some confrontation with us and the National Guard and all of that. And right here in New York, where we can deal with the police department and all their permits and everything, so there will not be interference with us. But we gonna march from the African burial grounds where we were brought, enslaved, sold, put up on platforms and sold like a piece of meat or commodity, saying, open your mouth, let's see your teeth, let's see how this looks like a healthy one. They don't want that in the Smithsonian. I didn't know they were going at the Smithsonian when we said, let's start at the African burial ground. But we're going to start right where you sold our mothers and fathers. That was the economic policy. That was your business plan. And then we're going to march right to where you're doing trading today. If I were you, I wouldn't miss this march. History's going to record this. Be there. We start 10 o'clock a.m. It's leading into Labor Day weekend. Most of y'all get off anyway, Thursday, definitely Friday, Labor Day weekend. Or it's the time for us to stand up and show our outrage and our sense of mobilization. Everybody has marched, and they should, and I've supported them since Trump had been in 7 months. Blacks has not called a march. And we welcome him, whites, Latinos, Asians, everybody to march with us. But we call this march. And I want us to show up in big numbers from all over the country. And I was encouraged. People came to see me yesterday from Detroit, said that, and I know Rem Williams will be on last hour. I know we got buses we've supplied for Detroit, but these people said, no, I came in, I'm going to spend the weekend going to the rally and helping to do whatever we can to mobilize people. And this is not, people always get caught up with their little ego. Oh, you going to Sharpton's rally? It's not my rally, it's our rally. You ain't doing me no favor going to rally. We stand up for all of us. And all of this separate division, are you with this one or that one? That's why I'm glad the Urban League and NAACP and everybody is part of this march. 12 national unions, AFSCME, NEA, National Education Association, the DC 37, SEIU, on and on. I don't have the list of unions, but 12 national unions are supporting the march and sending some of their members. And all of candidates running for stuff coming. So be there so you can tell your great-grandchildren that when Trump was raiding folks' houses and taking over cities, we stood up right there where his financial supporters are, right on Wall Street. That's next Thursday coming, August 28th. Go to www.nationalactionnetwork.net, www.nationalactionnetwork.net. If you haven't signed up, sign up right now. It's not too late. We can assign you to a bus if you don't know how to get somewhere. Sign up right now. Or you can call the toll-free number, 1-877-626-4651, 1-877-626-4651. Sharpton, keeping it real. Be right back.
Keepin grid.
So we just wanted to greet you all and thank you for allowing us in.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We was here.
They were on the plantation. with my
Our
grandmother.
family was on the plantation.
Wow.
And that's, of course, that's the slave house. That's one of the slave houses. Good to see you again, sir. It's been 13 years.
That's right.
Good to
How
see
you been?
Doing fine.
Right. Last time. And we,
Alexander Sharpton. How many slaves were staying there?
I have no idea.
This is where they would have a slave.
Yeah, that's when exactly. That was exactly.
The two people that most influenced my life were from South Carolina, James and Jesse. Jesse right up the road. I went over his mother's funeral. Jesse walked me to my mother's casket. Wow. South Carolina. That's the balance of my life, James and Jesse.
Yeah.
Civil rights, shoulders.
But also where your people come too.
Literally.
Yeah, right.
And where I knew Jesse was from James, I started Brother.
Yeah.
And James had died before I knew about him in South Carolina.
Oh, really?
Yeah. James died December 25th. He died Christmas Day, 06. And they came to do the story for February of 07. They came in January. His daughter swear that was his daddy and helped push the information out.
Wow.
And I called Jesse and told him, you know that my great-grandfather was a slave about 45, because Greenville right up to I-20. He said, I told you we was connected. That's why you got to listen to me. But
I want to ask you a question, and that is, what is in your life's blueprint? This is the most important and crucial period of your lives, for what you do now and what you decide now at this age may well determine which way your life shall go. And whenever a building is constructed, you usually have an architect who draws a blueprint. And that blueprint serves as the pattern, as the guide as the model for those who are to build the building. And a building is not well erected without a good, sound, and solid blueprint. Now each of you is in the process of building the structure of your lives. And the question is whether you have a proper, a solid, and a sound blueprint. And I want to suggest some of the things that should be in your life's blueprint. Number one in your life's blueprint should be a deep belief in your own dignity, your own worth, and your own somebodyness. Don't allow anybody to make you feel that you are nobody. Always feel that you count. Always feel that you have worth. And always feel that your life has ultimate significance.
You're live, friends.
Keeping it real. Keeping it real. Keeping it real. I am your host, Reverend Al Sharpton. This Exhale Friday. Whatever's on your mind, whatever's in your heart. 1877 532 5797 1-877-532-5797. Let me go right to the phones, and I'm gonna have a blessed weekend going down Speak at Howard, because I started the week with her and I'm ending the week with her. Miss Eunice, the beloved Miss Eunice. Beloved Miss Eunice.
Well, I love you too, Rev. And I'm doing wonderful. Few things are going on, but I can handle it. Just Reverend, just like Marvin Gaye said, I'd like to know just what's going on. Just when this administration has done one thing, another one turns up. Now Bolton raid and Patel said no one is above the law, and they are doing it every day. Trump has broken so many laws, and every time the Epstein scandal gets heated, Trump comes up with something else. And it rings in my ear constantly what Mary Trump said. Don't let Trump get back in office because he was dangerous. She did not lie. And don't leave out Abbott. He's a despicable person. And I'm just wondering, where do we go from here? And now Trump wants to stop the mail-in vote so they can cheat electronically. And several people I've heard say when they voted last time and they voted for Kamala Harris, it came up for Trump and they had to get new ballots. Now, when Putin and Trump meet, I guess he gives them orders. He believes what Putin says over his own CIA. And also, finally, who's running the government? Because every time you talk to Trump, I don't know. I have to check into it. So in other words, it's the most crazy thing I ever heard. And so we all, like I say, better get together because everything is on the line. And thank you and have a wonderful weekend.
Same to you, Miss Eunice. Always good to hear your voice.
Sure.
To begin and end our week. Let me go to Brother Demetrius in Cleveland, Ohio. WERE, Demetrius.
Hey, thank you, Sharpton.
Thank
Good
you.
talking to you. Okay, I just want to speak quickly concerning Donald Trump executive order he want to put against the mail-in ballots. I think the Democrat legislators got to be aware. I think he's trying to put the executive order into effect, so it'd be difficult for the public in California, to vote, to change the districts. So it won't counter what's going on in Texas. I believe that's why he's in a hurry. So I believe it's very important for the people in California and the other states, to try to speed up that process. Because once he have that lead of legislative Republicans controlling the government, he's gonna make it difficult for other states and the rest of the populace to vote. But he already have his legislatures in position.
Yeah.
So I believe that's something he's really trying to speed up, and he's gonna make it difficult after the districts is changed in Texas. And also when it comes to the Smithsonian Institute, I believe what was happening in the different states, they trying to take out Black history and so forth. He's not just want to erase the truth about slavery. I believe he's going to attack the contributions of African Americans and other groups of people, to this country when it comes to the medical field, the economic field, and the military contributions. We want to leave out anything that any other race has done, or anything that's negative that's occurred to the Native Americans, to the African Americans, and to the Asian Americans. Because, slavery haven't benefited us in any type of way. So we still suffering from the results of slavery down to this present day. When it comes to job opportunities, when it comes to providing proper medical care, and when it comes down to education, the same techniques that were used to keep African Americans enslaved here and African Americans enslaved around the world, especially in the Caribbean and South America, those techniques is being used today when it comes to trying to take away our votes, when it comes to trying to take away the educational opportunities, and when it comes to employment. Those same techniques are being used. That's why it's important for us to learn about Black history and to learn about what happened in the past in the museums, because those same techniques that's being used, even terror, raiding people's homes and having people scared to walk the streets. Those same techniques are being used, so people need to read that in the history books and go to the museums so they could be aware of what's going on today. If they don't know the history, they won't know what's coming at them today.
That's right.
The same techniques today. And when it comes to he want to remove the lady who worked for the Federal Reserve, his main point is he want to put someone in that position who will follow his falsely theory. He don't have no proof price is gonna go down on inflation. He made a promise to lower inflation. He haven't lowered inflation. So he wants someone in there who won't counter his failure to lower inflation. His promise, what he made. Because I believe his only way to lower inflation is to have people out of work. The only way inflation's going to go down if you don't have a plan that's going to work. People not working, they can't buy goods, the prices go down. But he'll benefit, and those who got his tax breaks that him and his followers passed in the Congress and Senate, they'll benefit. But overall, you don't care about the Americans. You just want to have people believe you do. But his only plan is lower inflation, is people out of work. And that's usually the Republicans' plans throughout history. They follow up, the Democrats follow up with good, stable government. And then the only way they can lower prices is to have people get laid off, and it benefits the corporations. It don't benefit the average American in any type of way. Okay, thank you, Reverend Sharpton.
All right, thank you for your call. Thank you for your call. Let me meet you in here.
got a I got a question. The Wall Street, is it a particular thing that we're going to that we're looking for? We you know, what are we?
We're saying that Wall Street, those that every major corporation and brokerage house is headquartered on Wall Street, we're putting them on notice that one, this is the anniversary of Dr. King saying, "I have a dream," that the dream that is being deferred is there during the deferring it. And we're putting on notice that company by company, we're dealing with them on them ending DEI and supporting Trump on his economic policies that has cut us out. So rather than go to Washington, which we usually do, the capital, we wanted to make the statement to Wall Street as a whole. And of course, we're going to lay out at the march which companies we go that we can cite specifically. But again, that would be at the march.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Now you said there's 12 unions, black unions that
No, I didn't say black unions. I said unions.
Oh,
you got everybody
okay.
from AFL-CIO to National Education Association to American Federation of State and Municipal Employees. A lot of the big national unions.
Okay. Now we've got on this administration that's in office now. They received 20% of the black vote. They received 20%. They haven't had that. I don't think they had that. Maybe they got close to it with Richard Milhouse Nixon. I have to even go back and look at that. They got 20% of the black vote. And my thing is, who's representing that 20% to get to the table to make a deal? Because 20% is a lot to pull that gentleman over to where he's at. So our black 20%, are we just neglecting the black 20% that actually got out and supported this guy? And now we are in a position to say, look, if you want this 20% again, we want to see some action. Okay, who do we talk to, Reb? I'll take that.
First of all,
off the air, you can give it to me right now. I don't. Who do we talk to? Who's going to talk for us?
First of all, I think that there's nobody to talk to, because the people that voted for Trump voted based on no commitment and based on him not promising nothing to blacks other than he had some swagger. So I don't think I think that, first of all, and I'm looking this up, Trump won only, according to the Pew Research Center, he won only 15% of the black vote, and he got 24 to 25% black men voted for Trump, and only 7% of black women. So he did not get 20%. And what we need to ask is those 15% that voted for him, which is not that high. Other Republicans have gotten that. But we need to ask them, what did they get for it? And what do we get for it? Because I don't see anything. But thank you for your call. Let's take a break. Be right back. Keeping it real. Sharpton. Be right back. Hi, Reverend Al Sharpton, president of National Action Network. August 28th, 1963. There were many that gathered in Washington for the historic March on Washington. And many of us grew up hearing the speech Dr. King gave that day, "I have a dream." But in that speech, he talked about America giving the Negro, blacks, a check that is bounced in the bank of history. So this August 28th, Thursday leading into Labor Day weekend, we that usually go to Washington to commemorate, we're having the Memorial March on Wall Street. Why are you going to Wall Street, Reverend Al? Because the people that have benefited from the check bouncing on Medicaid with this big, beautiful bill that took SNAP from people that need food assistance, They're on Wall Street, trading every day, doing the stock market every day. When is the last time we've had a mass march, nonviolent but determined, right there where they know, we know who you are, and we will not support the companies that undermine and finance our being destabilized. Join me, the National Action Network, and Martin Luther King III, August 28th, 10 a.m. We're going to march from the African burial ground just 1 mile to the Bull in the middle of Wall Street and have our rally. I want the faith community particularly to be there. Dr. King always built from the church. We need to be a witness in these times. People say, Reverend Al, I'm tired of marching. I say, what's the last march you've been to? Most of you never marched. This is your time to show up and stand up. God bless you.
Rev, you know you were right there
From the beginning.
with the stuff that
Yep.
was going on in Brooklyn at
Yep.
that time, at
Yep.
Howard Beach. You were right there.
He had in one of the early movies, he had my name. Then he put me in Malcolm, and I wasn't even old enough to know Malcolm. So we've been through it all.
For those who see Malcolm X, it's 3 hours. But fast forward to the scene you saw Bobby Seale.
Right. Bobby Seale, Denzel, and me.
Yeah.
Denzel was on the set.
Now, let me ask a question.
Yep.
What was your weight on that scene?
I probably about 270. I was bigger then.
Yeah.
Still had the hair back.
Yeah, you had the head on.
Yeah, it was
Denzel, yourself, and Bobby Seale.
Yeah, all in one scene.
And also, there was no cut. So we went like this.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Only Spike could have done that.
It's my brother right here.
My baby.
Brooklyn's in the house.
Yes, sir.
Brooklyn's in the house.
BK. No justice! No justice! No justice. No justice. No justice. What do we want? What do we want?
We are the sons and the daughters. We gonna stand up and make it loud. Just like our God told the Pharaoh, let my people go, go. We are a new generation from the ones who have come before. He's calling us into freedom, let my people go, go. We're gonna shine up the shade. Give me a papa God rain, make the heavens. If you don't say you know what trouble, let my people go, go. The blood, sweat, and the tears that we gathered through the years. If you don't say you know what trouble, let my people go, go. Wade in the water, we did wade in the water, children.
It's been a long time coming, but I'm
1968. Dr. Martin Luther King was killed in Memphis, Tennessee. And it has been the commitment of National Action Network to always, in the month he was killed, to let them know they killed the dreamer.
I have a dream today.
They can't kill the dreamer.
Commitment to justice.
And I'm probably going to need your help on this legal fight. You know, they shorted the historically black colleges and universities to the tune of about $13 billion, and Tennessee State was the one they shorted the most.
Absolutely. Well, let me know. I'm on the next plane as soon as you holler. You know, when Ben Crump called, I don't even question it. I just head to the airport and get the details on the way.
Live from the National Action Network corporate headquarters in New York. Keeping it real. It's Exhale Friday. And now, America's #1 civil rights leader, the Reverend Al Sharpton.
Keeping it real, keeping it real. I'm your host, Reverend Al Sharpton. It's Exhale Friday. Whatever's on your mind, whatever's in your heart, all you have to do is call us at 1-877-532-5797, 1-877-532-5797, or go on the message board at live stream at nationalactionnetwork.net. My friend Laurie Parks on the message board said, great movie that was directed by the best film director, Spike Lee. My good friend, he was on Politics Nation last week, Spike, who should have won the Oscar for Best Picture, Best Director. Denzel Washington should have won an Oscar in the role of Malcolm X. When I saw Malcolm X in the movie theaters, when the movie was over, all of the white folks who were there were silent. Interesting. You never told me that story, Laurie. Wow. O.G. Kelly said Mayor of Washington, D.C. Muriel Bowser formally requested the National Guard's help to address the humanitarian crisis caused by migrants being bused to Washington, D.C., but the request was denied. You know, you are correct, OG. When they were sending migrants out of Texas into cities with black mayors, one of them was Washington, and Mayor Bowser asked then for National Guard. They denied that. Very good point. Very good point. Well, it's Exhale Friday. Don't forget, tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, watch Politics Nation with Al Sharpton live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on MSNBC. Among my guests tomorrow, I'm going to have the ranking member of the Armed Services Department, Armed Services Committee in the U.S. Congress, Adam Smith. I want to know what's going on for real with Sudan and Gaza. A lot of us been reacting to other stuff. Gaza, they're taking fully from Israel, and what's going on with Ukraine with this back and forth. Big show on what they did in Alaska, Putin and Trump. We're on the brink of peace, then nothing. What's going on? We'll have Adam Smith on the ranking member of the Armed Services Committee. Then I'm going to have on the councilman at large from Washington, D.C., giving us on the ground on what's going on there, and some state officials on the ICE raid. And then on Sunday, I'm going to have the state representative, Nicole Collier, who refused to leave the chamber if she had to sign a statement letting them have the permission to follow her around. She spent the night because a real stand-up position to Governor Abbott. I'm going to have her and others on Sunday. So watch Politics Nation both Saturday and Sunday. I'll be live Sunday from Washington, D.C., and tomorrow I'll be live from the studios in New York. I'll be at the Saturday Action Rally in the morning. Many people be there that are already coming in. That's going to spend part of the week working toward the march on Thursday. Meet us at the Saturday Action Rally in the morning at 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the House of Justice in Harlem, 145th Street and Lenox Avenue. And, of course, you that are not in New York can watch it live on Impact Television, the only black-owned national gospel network. And or you can watch it at www.nationalactionnetwork.net. Our live stream has the rallies live. Well, all roads, you still have some bus seats left from all over the country, or you that are going to drive or fly. All roads lead to New York, Wall Street, where they are doing the ka-ching, that's the cash register on our services. That's who got the tax cut that has been paid for by cuts to Medicaid, cuts to SNAP. That's who are taking all the contracts with the cancellation of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. That meant they had to give contracts to people that were not getting them, black people that are being excluded. So we're going to Wall Street. Martin Luther King III and I will lead the march. 12 unions are supporting it. Many of our black church denominations, National Baptist, National Church of God in Christ, National Progressive Baptist, Congress of National Black Church, all of them will be marching. And just every civil rights group, National Legacy Group, we had a call last night from National Urban League, NAACP, Black Women's Roundtable, Lawyers Committee, the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, all of us on the phone last night. We need to strike a blow for us. Be there Thursday, 10 a.m. We starting at the African Burial Ground right at Foley Square and march a mile and change to the Bull at the Wall Street at Wall Street and have our rally. All right, let's go back to the phones. Let's go to Miss Richardson in Chevy Chase, Maryland. Miss Richardson, you're keeping it real with Al Sharpton.
Yes, good afternoon, dear. How are you?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good, yeah. You know, this thing about these places that's allowing this person to do what he's doing, I just don't understand why the nation that's against him go out to these places who have allowed him to go in from the beginning. You know, there should be a lot of people up on Capitol Hill with picket signs or something. The Supreme Court, you know, other entities that you don't see people even protesting other than what's going on in the district with what he did with the National Guard. I mean, why aren't people protesting the man in general? Because, you know, I mean, what's going on, Reb? I mean, Trump, people are talking like Trump put himself in there. He did not put himself in the White House. I mean, he had 78 or pretty close to 80 million that voted for him. And, you know, so he didn't get in there by himself. And so, and then Congress and the Senate and all these 400 and some members, well, you know, I don't hear them really complaining. And I don't even hear the Democrats really doing a lot of harsh complaining. They're kind of lame. I mean, this is only Mrs. Richardson's opinion, of course. But, Rev, how do you feel about it? Because I just don't see much of
I do not disagree with you, which is why, and thank you for your call, which is why we're having the march Thursday. It's been far too silent from Black America. It has been far too timid from our leadership. So that's why we said, no. Not only are we going to do the commemoration this year, we're going to do it right there in the belly of industry. Because we sitting up here taking this like it's all right. Silence is consent. You can sit home, sit at your office all you want, talking about, I don't know what's going to do this. Silence is consent. You doing nothing means that you agree with what's going on. The one thing you got to give the conservatives is while Obama was president, while Biden was president, they never stopped rallying, never stopped agitating. You got laryngitis and then wonder why nobody hearing you, because you're not talking. Mayor Rodney Jones is texting, and others, I'm going to come to that. Let's take our break. We'll be right back. Thank you, Ms. Richardson. You got me fired up again. Keeping it real. Sharpton. Be right back.
400 years later, it's time to do some assessing where we came from. While Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina, and Mississippi take the hits, the real trade market for commerce and cotton was New York, the port of New York. As a matter of fact, Joe, the first state to end slavery was Vermont. It was all the way up the coast. The big shipbuilders became rich off of our enslavement. Say our people are not slaves, they are our ancestors. They may be slaves to the person, but they're our ancestors, they're our foreparents. The money is made off of the commodity. We were the commodity in the commodity exchange. And they would import Africans. They export cotton and tobacco. And they built the whole economic system around Wall Street. Africans, because they feared the Indians would attack the Dutch, built a wall on Wall Street. That's why they named it Wall Street. It's the Africans with logs and trees. They built a wall around Wall Street, keep the Indians from attacking the Dutch. So Wall Street was named after us. There's a burial ground on Wall Street, which we should all visit. Those are our foreparents. At some point, they moved us to the other end of Manhattan, which is Harlem. So we are on the same island as Manhattan. Manhattan, Harlem, Wall Street, on the same island. Harlem is right down the road from Wall Street. That's interesting that most of our leaders, who all get different cases, never quite got to march on Wall Street.
That was Reverend Jesse Jackson speaking at National Action Network's House of Justice in 2020, saying that we'd ignored dramatizing, putting the spotlight on the economic inequalities, the economic issues of this country by never having marched on Wall Street en masse. Well, on August 28th, 5 years later, we're going to do just that. Because with this big, beautiful bill, which is a big, ugly bill that cuts Medicaid and SNAP, with the ending of diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and initiatives in the private sector, which gives blacks and others jobs, contracts for businesses, making sure we make the C-suite based on our merit and not excluded because we didn't have the family background in a given place, whether it be academic or business. The people that benefited from that are the ones on Wall Street that deal with the stock markets, that deal with the Dow Jones, that deal with making trade off of the decisions of those that supported the Trump initiatives in this area. So we are not this year going to Washington on the anniversary of the March on Washington. On the anniversary of the March on Washington, we're going to Wall Street. And Reverend Jackson, we're going to do what you said. Thousands of us are going to nonviolently but firmly come and say that the dream cannot be deferred by tax cuts for the rich and cutting those out that need food assistance, that need support with health care and other economic policies that have choked the middle class and the poor. August 28, 2025, go to www.nationalactionnetwork.net, get the details. Meet us 10 a.m. at the African Burial Ground and be ready to march. Buses are coming from all over the country. Go to that website or call 1-877-626-4651. No justice, no peace. Do I seem excited? I am excited because this Saturday, the National Action Network Saturday Action Rally starts live on WBLS 107.5 FM in New York. We're going to expand. Every Saturday morning, we're live on WBLS 107.5 from 10 a.m. to 11. You'll hear the message. You'll feel the energy. You'll be involved. You won't be sitting around talking about, oh my God, look at what's happening. You'll be involved in dealing with what's happening. I'm excited, and you should be excited too. Turn on WBLS 10 a.m. every Saturday morning. I have a message for you, and if you want to, you can come to the House of Justice and be there live, 145th Street and Lenox Avenue. We kick off at 9, and we don't stop until we deal with getting our people energy. I would argue that DEI is a result of those that by law and later by enforcement would not deal with diversity, would not deal with including people of color, gender, sexual orientation, as well as disabled. And the conscious effort by government and the private sector to begin to equalize the opportunities of this country was something that makes it more humane and fair for all of us. To DEI, diversify, is not based on the lack of merit. We could not show our merit because we were extremely pompous conservatives that talk about we want a society based on merit. Well then, if it's based on merit, then why did you discriminate based on race and gender? Until they cut off much of the population and then had merit between white males. That was what they meant, not merit. Let's have real merit, but let's also make up the ground that those of us with merit was not able to compete.
Rev, you know, you were right there
from the beginning
with the stuff that
Yep.
was going on in Brooklyn at that time, at Howard Beach. You were right there.
He had in one of the early movies, he had my name. Then he put me in Malcolm, and I wasn't even old enough to know Malcolm. So we've been through it all.
For those who see Malcolm X, it's 3 hours. But fast forward to the scene yourself.
Yep.
Bobby Seale.
Right. Bobby Seale, Denzel, and me.
Yeah.
Denzel was on the set.
Now, let me ask a question.
Yep.
What was your weight on that scene?
I probably about 270. I was bigger then.
Yeah.
Still had the hair, man.
Yeah, you had the head on.
Yeah, it was
Denzel, yourself, and Bobby Seale.
Yeah, all in one scene.
And also, there was no cut. So we went like this.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Only Spike could have done that.
It's my brother right here.
My baby.
Brooklyn's in the house.
Yes, sir.
Brooklyn's in the house.
BK. Keeping it real. I am your host, Reverend Al Sharpton, and we're back 1-877-532-5797, 1-877-532-5797, and you can also go on National Action Network and to live stream and put a comment on our message page. Kenneth Curry writes, thanks, Reverend Al. Wall Street profited from the slave trade. Some of the companies and banks gained wealth and status from our free labor, and the debt has never been paid to our people, so we are going to the right place on the 28th of August. God be with you. Thank you. God be praised. Thank you, Kenneth, and I'm looking for you to be there. That's exactly right. Many of those companies that are on Wall Street that says they come, they go back generations. Yeah, they go back to slave trade. It is, let me tell you something. I want y'all to get this really carefully. Next year, they are celebrating, they're already preparing for the 250th anniversary of the United States. 250th. Since the Declaration of Independence and then the Constitution of the United States. Let me remind you that the first recorded slaves came here in 1619, which means before they ever had a Declaration of Independence to King George, we had already been enslaved for 150 years. The reason they had enough wealth in the colonies to fight the American Revolution is because we had become force-free labor and they had money, resources. So all y'all getting ready for next year's celebration? Celebrating what? We were enslaved 250 years and had been enslaved 150 years before that. The folks that benefited and profited were the ones on Wall Street, one of the largest two ports of slave trade was Charleston, South Carolina, and Wall Street, New York. That's where they come right in the harbor. That's why the African burial ground is there. So we're going to the right place because just like in my judgment, Trump is trying to bring us back to those old days, I'm going back to say I know what happened in the old days, and you guys got the money. And I want to bring thousands with us. Let's go to Wale in New York. Wale, you're keeping it real with Al Sharpton.
Reverend Sharpton, you know it's pronounced Wale.
Wale, okay. I'm only reading what's on the board. They don't have it like that.
I'm messing with you,
All right.
Reverend Sharpton.
All right, I'm sorry.
Because normally you get it right, but today I guess you just maybe a little relaxing too much, maybe. But you look good. You look good though.
Thank you.
So there are some things that there are some comments that I've sent to the National Action Network.net because I don't want to say it over the air. I want you to look at it. It's nothing bad or nothing. I'm not critiquing nothing. They're just some questions about Wall Street I wanted to address to you, but I'd rather do it off the air. So
okay.
It's on your, what do you call it? It's on nationalactionnetwork.net.
Right.
But that commercial that you have, what is it, GAT, the brother that does your pictures and everything? Okay. So there's the video you have that talks about stop putting yourself, telling the public, stop being a spectator. You have more to contribute in certain areas than people who are in those positions. And I thought about myself when I was a TA, a tennis association for night shift development. My mother was Grassroots, so she was one of the first night shift, New York City Housing Authority. She was one of the first resident councils, presidents. Yes. And I was the type back then, Reverend Sharpton, that back then they fed you, clothed you, and sent you to the park to play. So they didn't make you sit down and learn these things. So when she was learning how to be Perkins's representative, which is why he got where he's at, Diane Lacey, she campaigned for them. All of them. I can name all of them that she campaigned for, and every one of them got their position.
Wow.
And she didn't get the recognition she should have got, which is why we're, her children, trying to get a street named after her. She was the reason our development that we grew up in, why the name was changed. All of that. She did all that work, but she never wrote it in the sky. So she founded the Sojourner Truth Club for Bill Perkins. Never had her name was never written in the sky. Okay. So when I look at your commercial, Reverend Sharpton, and you say there's people in positions, they don't have half of what you got, meaning us, the public. And I thought about that. I said, Wale, he is 100% right. But Reverend Sharpton, when I became a TA president, which is the Tennis Association for Night Shift Development, I only did it because I was never interested in politics, never interested in being a TA president, none of that. Watching my mother do it, I still was never interested. All I know, and I'm still not interested, but I learned from you, whether you're interested or not, sit down and learn about it.
Right.
I know I'm getting emotional.
Right.
You sit your butt down and you learn the laws, but I got to be quick, but I can hear it in your voice. So what's my point? I only became president to make sure my water's hot, make sure my heat is on, make sure I know the connections who I can get to like this when I need work done, right? I didn't get into it to be a politician. But one of my officers she became a district leader. And I get more done in our development than she does. But my name ain't written in the sky. It's not down in legacy in the books and all this kind of thing. Now, what's the point? I'm going to be quick. I'm already done, really. But the point I'm trying to make is we should strive to be those council people, the district leaders, and all. Find out how to get in there. Them council people, I think the Blasio gave them a raise. They get something like, what, $200,000 almost? And they don't even have to have a college degree to hold to be a city council person.
No.
So back to you. What you're saying is 100% right. You know more. There's those of us that do more work than these people that's in office.
And don't get none of that. And
you are 100% right.
And you're one of them, Wale. I didn't know about you. Now I know where you get your fire from. Your mama was like that. I never knew that about you. Well, thank you for your call, Wale. You hang in there, and I'm gonna look for what you asked on nationalactionnetwork.net so we can get your answer. But wow, that was profound. You could feel her sincerity right through the phone on the airwaves. She the real deal. Wale. Let's take a break. Be right back. Keeping it real. Sharpton. Be right back.
Country, talking to the radio announcers, the church people and the street people, telling them that God has smiled on me. God has smiled on you if you got breath in your body. If He woke you up this morning and started you on your way. But I want to tell you some stories of people that God smiled on. We know the story of Dr. Martin Luther King, how he started way back in Montgomery, Alabama in 1955, trying just to get dignity, trying to get respect. And he went all the way to the mountaintop. But he didn't forget about the brothers in the valley. He didn't forget about those trapped in the alley. And I hear Brother Martin King say, God has smiled on me. He's been good to me. Let me tell you, God has smiled on me. It's been so good to me. Then I see as Dr. King went on, another man stepped into the forefront by the name of John F. Kennedy, who rose up and said, let's not stand back. Let's not wait for a handout. Let's wait for a way out. He said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. He said, don't us gravel and don't us moan, because God doesn't smile on us. Let me say it. God has smiled on me. He has set me free. Let me say it. And I saw a man come out. They call him the King of Soul, James Brown. And James Brown said, Reverend, don't you worry. I started out as a shoe shine boy. I started out as a convict. I started out uneducated. But I learned to sing my song. And I sung it all over the world. I told him it was a man's world. I told him about the big payback. I told him Papa got a brand new bag. And all over the world. And she said, son, even though we don't have much, we don't need relief. All we need is belief. And she said, he didn't tell you no lie, because the Lord will take care of you. God sits high, but he looks down low. And every time you get discouraged, every time you're burning down, all you have to do is think of the things that God made a way for you and look toward the heavens. Lift your eyes to the hills and say, God, 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 don't smile on me. Now then the God has smiled on me. He has set me free. God has smiled on me. That has been so good to me. Yes, he has. I say, God smiled on me. He has set me free. And I know all over the country, smile on me. We need jobs. We need a way to make it. We need help. We need jobs. We need a way to make some money to feed our families and raise our bread. We need a way to survive, so we don't need crime as a survival kit. We just need a little bit. But don't give the hope up. Don't lose the faith, because God will smile on you. God will give you the strength. God will make a way for you. Adam Clay Powell said, keep the faith. Keep the faith, baby. I hear Robert Kennedy saying that it's not the dream of, but it's the dream that'll live on forever. Just know that God will smile on you. Dr. King had a dream. Dr. King said, I went to the mountaintop, but I didn't stop there. I looked over and saw the promised land. I hear Brother Malcolm saying, don't sit on the stoop. Stand up and be a man. Respect yourself. Be somebody. Then I hear the brothers in the Hispanic community say, I'm going to stand up and be a man. I'm going to do the best I can. I had a reaper say, I don't care what time you come home, but just give me some respect when you get there. Now God has smiled on me. He has set me free. God smiled on me. It's been so good to me. Sit down. And as we move on in history, let us remember that if we look to God, God has the answer to all of our problems. God is still the same God he was years ago, and we can still make it. We can still hold on like Frederick Douglass did. We can still keep him on like Martin Luther King did. We can still ride on the way everyone that made it did. They didn't have much, but they had a whole lot of faith. They didn't have money, but they had a lot of determination. We know that God will look out for his children, that God will make a way out of no way. If you just keep the faith and refuse to lose, and God will make a way, because God's children don't have color. God's children just have will, and I can still hear something in my mind. James Brown says,
I'm your host, Reverend Al Sharpton. 1-877-532-5797. 1-877-532-5797. And Shannon K saying, I'm trying to read on the message board, Shannon K. No, I don't see it at all. But Shannon K said something, did MSNBC take away from Politics Nation? No, we on, Shannon, every Saturday and Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. They have not taken anything away from us. We always was on 5 to 6 on Saturdays, Sundays. I've been on 14 years, but I've been on Saturdays and Sundays the last 5 years, same time. They haven't taken anything away from us. Let's go to the phone. Let me go to Still Bill in Cincinnati, Ohio. The Buzz. Still Bill, you're keeping it real with Al Sharpton.
Absolutely. This is the day the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. It is a pleasure to talk to you, Reverend. You are in rare form. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
I want to send a homage out to Mr. Lincoln Ware, the man of power, WBBC The Buzz, 12:30 a.m. radio station, to where I listen to this excellent show. I want to say that Donald Trump's latest adventure is he's trying to eliminate the ballots of voting for us. And you know what? It's just another skip and a hop where, he'll fail. But, I look at it like this. God is my president, as I always say. And, he's just doing nothing but talking loud and going quack, 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 blowing smoke. And, Reverend, it's just a never-ending battle of the fact that he does not know what he's doing when he's in the office. And even though I don't wish that anything physically would happen to him, but I hope at some point he be removed from office at some point. And I'm just holding on to that thought and that dream. Reverend, it's a pleasure to talk to you. I know you got a bunch of callers who want to talk to you. And to your daughter, Dominique, I will keep it real. Keep it real.
I was waiting on you to do that. Thank you for your call. Let's go to Let's go to Justice in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. WURD. Justice.
Good day, Reverend Al.
Good day.
I love you and respect you for all that you do for the people.
Thank you.
All right. I just have one question and one comment. And the question is, I don't know if anybody's asked you, that is the reason why we're going to Wall Street August 28th instead of Washington. Is it because maybe Trump didn't give a permit for us to go to Washington this year?
No, we didn't ask to go. We wanted to go to Wall Street because we wanted to put the focus on the economic inequality that we're suffering, which was part of King's dream. So that we said this 2 months ago, we decided, and we never applied for a permit this year in Washington. And I'm glad we didn't, because then we'd been down there in the middle of all the National Guard messing with us, coming in from other states. But we didn't even know that was going to happen. We intended to go to Wall Street.
Okay. And my last comment, my only comment is that I think that if, like Dr. King and yourself, I put you in the same light as Dr. King, and that I don't think that he cared who the president was, that he was willing to go to Washington and meet with the president, no matter if he was Republican or Democrat, whoever he was. And he was going there to get something done for the people. Mm-hmm. I just disagree that he never want to go and sit with Trump and try to get something done for the people, even though he's how he is or who he is. All you got to do is appease him a little bit, and he'll do something for you. All you got to do is, pat him on the back or, stroke his ego, and he'll do something for you. That's all you got to do with Trump. But if you don't go at all, he probably got some vindictive things that he want to do because people seem to don't like him, and so he want to get back at them. And
I think some of that is true. Thank you for your call, Justice.
Welcome.
It's
my birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. I think some of that is true, that what you're saying, that he wants his ego struck. But I also think that there comes a time where you have to trade between what is right and what is expedient. And it may be expedient to play to his ego and get some crumbs. But then that's not what's right. When you have him just outright canceling people's jobs and contracts by stopping DEI and fining colleges, supposed to be the most reputed college in the country, the Harvard University and others having to pay for having DEI. And then when you see him coming back, giving a tax cut to these Wall Street guys that he gave in 2017 that was reversed by Biden, and he has reinstituted it, and he's doing it by cutting Medicaid funds and cutting SNAP funds. That ain't the kind of way you deal with him by flattering him, because you see Yelensky and them flattered him. What's he doing for them? John Bolton worked for him and just disagreed with him, and they raiding his house. So you got to know the kind of guy you dealing with when you're dealing with Trump. I dealt with Trump 40 years, from the Central Park 5 case that we marched on him, to when he was found guilty of discrimination, to when he came and said, no, I've changed, I want to be Democrat. Came to the National Action Network Convention, cut the ribbon one year as one of the leading businessmen, supported Charlie Rangel, and then went all the way back with birtherism and all, back to who he always was. So I know Trump. Trust me, Justice. And he know me. And we going to fight till the end. In the end, right's going to always win. Let's go to Hawaii to Yusef. Yusef, you're keeping it real with Al Sharpton, XL Friday.
Yes, sir. We need to put the facts on the table. You got a senator from Alabama who holds 150 commission officers rank at hold. That was in Alabama, a Republican, right? We also got to look at the crime, National Guard. Does TSP sound good? Would that fix crime? With tuition assistance, would that help with crime, right? All of the stuff that National Guard get, would that help with crime? The Trump administration shows how out of touch they are with the military, right? Are they going to get service connected? Those 2,000 National Guard members, are they going to get service connected? Are they going to get their medical record books filled up? If I was a Democrat, I would start going out to make sure those National Guard members start getting their medical record up, right? Because that's how they did us in Iraq and Afghanistan, where we could do.
You're breaking up. I think we lost you. Are you still there? You still there, yourself?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
I hear you now, yes.
How can you put the National Guard and decrease the VA fund? How can you fire people in the VA? How could you put the VA on freeze? You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
The Ellis Island, where his grandparents came in there. What if somebody came over there and told him the same thing he's telling us? What if somebody went to Ellis Island, a museum, and where his parents is documented, right? We from New York City. We're going to came here. That's smart. Even on his
in their face, telling them that they face.
In their face. They're crazy. And we spoke about that on this radio show. Bounce back on his own supporters. He thinking these people are stupid, man. You know what I'm saying? So if you come from a different country, don't make you smarter, right? It don't make you smarter than the people that's already here. You understand what I'm saying? So when we're talking about ICE, what about the people who actually took those jobs seriously? He's undermining the people who came there to help to actually do immigration because they want to. He's undermining the police, the people who actually go out there and protect the city. You ever feel like a person at a job who just come undermine, talk about, I could do your job?
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
He's undermining these people. He's making them look bad. What about all them ICE agents that work through COVID? Don't they deserve the $50,000 that's been put in work? Don't they need a bonus? I'm sure a lot of them got over 300 sick leave hours on the books. You see, the Democrats got to come out and put this in the front, because some National Guard folks over there, that's the way to address crime because they got tuition assistance, they got college assistance. J.D. Vance was in the Marine Corps where he confirmed he was getting paid every 2 weeks. He came from a poor state. Anybody can look that up. He came from a poor state.
And he wrote about it. He did a novel, Hillbilly Elegy. He wrote about that.
That's right. That's right, sir. If you look at his state, the people that was in charge of his state, he should be angry at the people back then that was in charge of his state. Now that you went to Harvard and you educate yourself, you come in the military, and here we got nonsense. He should be the first to help military folks with child care, bettering the base, bettering the installation, making sure that spouses get jobs. All these National Guard guys, are they getting certifications? We see a sergeant over there at Stewart that tackled an armed personnel, unarmed. There's a sergeant that had an active duty on the base that tackled an armed person.
Wow.
An unarmed soldier. They should get jobs. They should get certified. Let's get it. Democrats, wake up. Let's go.
They need to wake up and they need to get up, Yusef. Thank you for your call, Yusef from Hawaii. It's Exhale Friday. Let me take a break. Be right back. Keeping it real. Sharpton. 1-877-532-5797. 1-877-532-5797. I see Evangelist Ramsey's on the message board and the mayor, Rodney Jones. All right, I was wondering where y'all were. I hadn't seen. Oh, they were on earlier. All right. Let's take a break. Be right back. Keeping it real. Sharpton right after this.
Breaking news. The issues, the stories affecting you. Now here's the news from News1.com.
Exhibitionists who can be counted on to show up, bullhorn in hand, at every racial incident.
I often quote Mark Twain saying, the two most important moments in life is the moment you are born and the moment you find out why you were born. I had a very troubling conversation the other day that prompted me to do this little video. Young man that I've known a while came to me and he was crushed. I mean, really crushed because people were criticizing his work. He's in the ministry, but he's also an actor. And he said he couldn't understand why people were jumping all over, criticizing him, trying to find scandalous and derogatory things about him. And I told him, I said, you know, you very young. You don't know the road I've traveled. They call me everything but a child of God.
A blabbermouth, a loudmouth, too flamboyant, an agitator, a racist,
I
a race
had to
baiter.
learn.
Yeah, right.
I was not defined by how others saw me. I was defined by how I saw myself and whether I was being true to myself. Some of you watching this don't like me. And it doesn't matter as long as I know what I'm doing. And I like me for being real. So I'm doing this video to say to you, whoever you are, and whatever you do, you may not be in ministry or social justice, none of this stuff, but don't live your life worried about opposition or people that don't like you. You can turn that around. Use me as an example. The same people that call me a scam artist, a con artist, a sellout, or racial hustling, I kept going. And the people I respected started respecting and publicly embracing my work.
When Coretta Scott King, the widow of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., had this to say about Al Sharpton.
A leader who has protested injustice with a passionate, unrelenting commitment to nonviolent action in the spirit and tradition of Martin Luther King Jr. And I am talking about your leader, our leader, the Reverend Al Sharpton.
The other thing that hasn't changed is the National Action Network's commitment to fight injustice and inequality here in New York City and across America. And that's not only a testament to Reverend Sharpton, it's a testament to all of you who are here tonight.
First and foremost, to Reverend Sharpton. I saw him when he first came on the scene, and I have marveled at his tenacity, at the development of his intellect, and his devotion to our movement, and much he has contributed to the world we are experiencing. I am honored, and I must say that when I had my debate with Dr. King on the issue of the church and religion, he didn't warn me that after his departure, his space would be filled by another preacher, and that preacher would be Al Sharpton.
All you want in life is people that matter to you to say you did all right. And more important, that you can look in the mirror and say you did all right.
Thank you, Rev. Thanks for that introduction. Look, we've known each other for a long time. I'm grateful not only for your leadership and partnership, but quite frankly, more importantly, for your friendship. And thanks to all of you, members of our nation's most important civil rights organization.
You have been, over all of your years, such an extraordinary leader. You are a voice of truth, a voice of conscience, a voice of practicality around what we must address and what we can do. And I thank you so much for your friendship.
I remember that most of the youth around Al's age, he was about 12, wanted to be like Connie Hawkins, a great basketball player, legend, or Earl the Pearl, or Clyde Frazier. Al wanted to be like Adam Powell, a powerful preacher with a social justice gospel. He was very close to, at that time, to Reverend William Augustus Jones, powerful preacher and social justice advocate, and Reverend Gardner Taylor State right down the street, and Bishop Washington, whose church he came from, and Reverend Sandy Ray. He wanted to be like these giant preachers. He wanted them to have the edge, however, of the King's social justice dimension. He wanted to be like them, now he's one of them. Perhaps taller than most of them because of the risks he has taken and the reward God has given him with his gift. I remember so well that I first escorted him to jail. He was around 13 years old, with the jail fighting the ANP. He was in the lineage of our struggle. He grew up in it. We didn't just see him on TV one night. He didn't happen. He came bottom up, not top down.
Hi, I'm Reverend Al Sharpton, President of National Action Network. August 28th, 1963, there were many that gathered in Washington for the historic March on Washington. And many of us grew up hearing the speech Dr. King gave that day, I Have a Dream. But in that speech, he talked about America giving the Negro, blacks, a check that has bounced in the bank of history. So this August 28th, Thursday leading into Labor Day weekend, we that usually go to Washington to commemorate, we're having the Memorial March on Wall Street. Why are you going to Wall Street, Reverend Al? Because the people that have benefited from the check bouncing on Medicaid with this big, beautiful bill that took SNAP from people that need food assistance, they're on Wall Street, trading every day, doing the stock market every day. When is the last time we've had a mass march, nonviolent but determined, right there where they know, we know who you are, and we will not support the companies that undermine and finance our being destabilized. Join me, the National Action Network, and Martin Luther King III, August 28th, 10 a.m. We're going to march from the African burial ground just 1 mile to the Bull in the middle of Wall Street and have our rally. I want the faith community particularly to be there. Dr. King always built from the church. We need to be a witness in these times. People say, Reverend Al, I'm tired of marching. I say, what's the last march you've been to? Most of you never marched. This is your time to show up and stand up. God bless you. No justice. No justice. No justice. What do we want? What do we want?
We are the sons and the daughters. We gotta stand up and make it loud. Just like our God told the Pharaoh, let my people go, go. We are a new generation from the ones who have come before. He's calling us into freedom. Let my people go, go. We never shine, never shade. Give me up, Papa, go, make the heavens. If you don't say you know I'm trouble, let my people go, go. The blood, sweat, and the tears.
Reverend Al Sharpton.
Through the years. If you don't
Let's go right back to the phones. It's Exhale Friday. Let's go to Tony in Atlanta, Georgia, WAOK. Tony. Is Tony with me? I don't
think he's in.
I don't hear Tony. Let me go to Little Mountain, South Carolina, to Spencer. Spencer.
Hey, good afternoon, Al Sharpton.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, thank you. Look, I was just thinking about something. You know, when we learn stuff in a learning environment, when we learn stuff, then it's taken off the blackboard and other stuff is put up there. In other words, we try not to jam whoever is in the class or whoever is trying to learn something. But what got me this morning was this. This is what hit me like a ton of bricks. And I said, wait a minute. Ain't nobody said nothing about they done took this off the blackboard. Here's the no one is above the law. Now, in the last 2 or 3 years, we done found out that's a dat-blame lie. There is people above the law. You see, here go another one. All humans are born equal. That's another universal American way of double teaching is a lie. See, if you're not in a position to understand that, then you got to be a follower. And I have to give it to Trump. Trump have came in and very neatly have disengaged anything that could go against him and say what he says. As one person, he can say one thing and the whole government just lay back. But I just thought I'd bring this up, Al. Maybe I'm talking some stuff that most people don't understand. But I'm telling you, anytime you cannot take stuff down that everybody now understand, you blocking folks from learning what's ahead for them. Have a good day.
All right, thank you for your call. I think that it is clear that we and all of us need to deal with the fact that Trump is not doing anything that he didn't tell us he was going to do. And I feel that it is, you know, you get these people that just want to deal with rewriting history rather than dealing with the reality of what it is. And that's unfortunate. Let's go. Let me see. Tricia says, remember when Trump blamed Nancy Pelosi for not calling the National Guard on January 6th? Did he ask Mike Johnson for permission at James Thomas O.G. Kelly? Interesting. Now, let me go to, let me do this one. Parlay Hit, H-I-T. I hope you're listening now because I'm going to answer you. It says, Reverend Al only promotes himself. Besides once-a-year marches and shouting yearly in churches and streets, what have you done for black folks, Reverend Al, so they don't need food stamps and Medicaid? I'm so glad you asked. First of all, we don't have once-a-year marches. We have at least rallies at least once a week. If you follow what we do, we're probably the only organization out here that meets every week, open to the public, and live on television and on radio. So you got misinformation. Secondly, what we've done is we've been able to bring in laws like stop and frisk. We've been able to bring in billions of dollars of black business. If you came to our convention, everybody from Robert Smith, the black billionaire, across the board said we have gotten them contracts in entree, which provides jobs. We've done education reform. I'm glad you asked. By the way, if you are so misinformed and you went on our website to go to live stream, you can see all that on the website. So you either just some ill-informed, uninformed person, or you are a signed troll. Because all of that's on the website, the conventions, the weekly rallies, the list of achievements and accomplishments and all. See, I like to get these guys because they like to throw things up there like they intimidating people. And I want you to know that you either are intentionally ignoring facts or you just intentionally ignoring facts. But we meet every 52 weeks a year, minimum. Sometimes rallies in between. So there's no once a year marches. I don't know where you got that from. Tony in Atlanta, Georgia. Is Tony there? WAOK. All right, let me go to Jerry in Cincinnati, Ohio, the Buzz. Jerry.
Hey, Reverend Al.
Hey.
Well, this is what I'm gonna try to make mine quick too. I heard the guy talking about stroking Trump's ego. I mean, you might hear a woman say that about her husband to get him to do something, but see, I know you know what you're talking about. We talking about when was the Burmese python. Then why would you stroke the head of a python? And he know he'll bite you every time, wrap around you and kill you.
Right.
And that's what Trump has shown with his death camp traps down in Florida. But I like the fact that the judge did come out, give him 60 days to shut it down. I mean, who does that? But you know, one thing about the slave, and I don't know, going back to so many years, after so long of being beaten and tortured, lynched, raped, and you name it, they had to meet, you know, secretly. You know, somebody the whole saying you can't always tell your right hand what your right hand what your left hand doing, and you're not gonna put all this stuff out. You know, if you're trying to come up with strategies, it's like the military. You can't go on what they went on the chat and told the secret, and the Houthis or I think I'm saying that right, came in and tried to hurt the military. You can't always tell everybody what you're gonna do. And I know you know that, and I know you're smart, so you already know you're not gonna stroke Trump's ego just to pacify him. And what did he do? What happened to people that stroke his ego? They lose their all the things they work for. Giuliani, law license, and he doesn't care about it. So, but that's I just wanted to say that because I've been angry. I know I've been to one of the marches, I think maybe a year ago, to March Washington. But our finance, our money is so much at stake. You know, I wish at some point when the Democrats hopefully they take over the House and the Senate, that they can appoint somebody for 160 days. Tell them to call Jerry, and I'll come in slashing. Revoke it.
All right,
so I'm
Jerry.
gonna end on that note, David.
I loved it. I loved it. Thank you for your call.
You're welcome.
Robert Sapp says on our message board now, Taco is telling Bondi to release the Epstein files. Yeah, after she redacts everything. James Thomas says Parlay just got slapped down by the Reverend Al. That's what happens when you try to play rope-a-dope with Reverend Al. I mean, no. I want people to understand that I am not afraid of critical questions, but you need to have facts. And I just got three of one of George Floyd's family members, and Eric Garner talk about, you forgot to talk about how you've been taking care of the families that you fought for since then. Eric Garner's family been with us 11 years. We take care of them now. So a lot of people, I give people the benefit of the doubt. Let me put it that way, James. Maybe Parlay just don't know all we do. Maybe he just went right to the live stream page and didn't go through the website. So I use him to answer others that may have a question. But he's probably just assigned to it. But, hey, we all got to do what we got to do. Saint says, amen, take that to the bank, sir. Don't come over here. All of y'all reacting to him. Well, let me go back. Let me go back to the phone. Let me go to Ray in the Buzz. Ray at the Buzz.
Let's take a break.
Let me take the break. I'll come right back to you, Ray. Keeping it real. Sharpton. Be right back.
I've been traveling around the country talking to the radio announcers, the church people and the street people, telling them that God has smiled on me. God has smiled on you if you got breath in your body. If he woke you up this morning and started you on your way. But I want to tell you some stories of people that God smiled on. We know the story of Dr. Martin Luther King, how he started way back in Montgomery, Alabama in 1955, trying just to get dignity, trying to get respect. And he went all the way to the mountaintop. But he didn't forget about the brothers in the valley. He didn't forget about those trapped in the alley. And I hear Brother Martin King say, God has smiled on me. He's been good to me. Let me tell you, God has smiled on me. It's been so good to me. Then I see as Dr. King went on, another man stepping to the forefront by the name of John F. Kennedy, who rose up and said, let's not stand back. Let's not wait for a handout. Let's wait for a way out. He said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. He said, don't us gravel and don't us moan, because God can smile on us. Let me say it. God has smiled on me. He has set me free. Let me say it. God has smiled on me. One more time. I want to say real song. I say God has smiled on me. He has set me free. Pick it up. And she said, son, even though we don't have much, we don't need relief. All we need is belief. And she said, he didn't tell you no lie, because the Lord will take care of you. God sits high, but he looks down low. And every time you get discouraged, every time you're burning down, all you have to do is think of the things that God made a way for you and look toward the heavens. Lift your eyes to the hills and say, God, 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 don't smile on me. Now then, the God has smiled on me. He has set me free. God has smiled on me. That has been so good to me. Yes, he has. I say, God smiled on me. He has set me free. And I know all over the country, smile on me. We need jobs. We need a way to make it. We need help. We need jobs. We need a way to make some money to feed our families and raise our bread. We need a way to survive, so we don't need crime as a survival kit. We just need a little bit. But don't give the hope up. Don't lose the faith, because God will smile on you. God will give you the strength. God will make a way for you. Adam Great Power said, keep the faith. Keep the faith, baby. I hear Robert Kennedy saying that it's not the dream of, but it's the dream that'll live on forever. Just know that God will smile on you. Dr. King had a dream. Dr. King said, I went to the mountaintop, but I didn't stop there. I looked over and saw the promised land. I hear Brother Malcolm saying, don't sit on the stoop. Stand up and be a man. Respect yourself. Be somebody. Then I hear the brothers in the Hispanic community say, I'm going to stand up and be a man. I'm going to do the best I can. I had a reaper say, I don't care what time you come home, but just give me some respect when you get there. He has set me free. God smile on me. You've been so good to me. Sit down. And as we move on in history, let us remember that if we look to God, God has the answer to all of our problems. God is still the same God he was years ago, and we can still make it. We can still hold on like Frederick Douglass did. We can still keep him on like Martin Luther King did. We can still ride on the way everyone that made it did. They didn't have much, but they had a whole lot of faith. They didn't have money, but they had a lot of determination. We know that God will look out for his children, that God will make a way out of no way if you just keep the faith and refuse to lose. And God will make a way, because God's children don't have color. God's children just have will. And I can still hear somewhere in my mind James Brown say, God has smiled on me. He has set me free. Let me sing here. Yeah, Lord. Yeah, Lord. Yeah, Lord.
Oh, do I seem excited? I am excited, because this Saturday, the National Action Network Saturday Action Rally starts live on WBLS 107.5 FM in New York. We're going to expand. Every Saturday morning, we're live on WBLS 107.5 from 10 a.m. to 11. You'll hear the message. You'll feel the energy. You'll be involved. You won't be sitting around talking about, oh my God, look at what's happening. You'll be involved in dealing with what's happening. I'm excited, and you should be excited too. Turn on WBLS 10 a.m. every Saturday morning. I have a message for you. And if you want to, you can come to the House of Justice and be there live. 145th Street and Lenox Avenue. We kick off at 9, and we don't stop until we deal with getting our people energized. Oh, keeping it real. Keeping it real. I'm your host, Reverend Al Sharpton, and we're back as XL Friday. I'm joined as I am every Friday for the last hour of the show for the week by the senior pastor of the King Solomon Baptist Church of Detroit, Michigan, head of national expansion of the National Action Network and Michigan State Chair, Reverend Charles Williams II. How you doing, Reverend?
All is well, and certainly it's always good to be with you, Rev. I tell you, there's so
Wait a minute,
much
get your mic
going
right.
on.
You coming off muzzled.
Oh, there's so much going on all throughout. Is that better, Rev?
Yeah, that's a little better.
Is that better? Oh, all right. There's so much going on all throughout the country. So much going on in politics, so much going on in corporate America. We saw this week that Target made a change in their president, their CEO, and I'm looking at the fact they made that change. You all know that just 6 days away from now we'll be on Wall Street, and don't think that what we do makes a difference across the country. Don't think that the decisions we make
You muffle. We
and
can't
the market.
understand you. I think you said something about they changing CEO, but first of all, and I've talked to some of the boycott leaders on that. A change don't necessarily make a change till we see where the new guy is. The new guy they come to, been there 20 years, and is the assistant to the guy that left, so it may be more of the same. But let y'all work with him to get his mic, because we really can't understand. People are texting me saying they can't understand.
We about to call him right now. We about to call him.
Yeah, call him. And let me, in the interim, let me go to Ray and the Buzz. Ray, you're keeping it real with Al Sharpton.
Yes, sir, Rev. Thanks for taking my call. I've been waiting to excel ever since Trump came on the scene, Rev. But way back then, hello?
Yes.
Yeah, but way back then, when Trump got off that bus and the Access Hollywood tape, and Hillary Clinton, when she ran, a lot of black folks decided they didn't want a woman president. So, Trump got in. And my thing is, when he was impeached in the House, Mitch McConnell could have gotten rid of him by impeaching him in the Senate. He decided, let the voters take care of Trump, but they didn't. And so I'm pissed off about that, Rev. But
Rev, I got Reverend Williams on the phone.
About Trump in this term, a lot of companies, a lot of colleges, and a lot of businesses rely on federal dollars because Trump has got them in his pocket. They're giving him money like he's Santa Claus or something. But Rev, let me say this about that Target and the CEO stepping down. They blame it on sales, but they also mentioned the boycott, and I'm glad they mentioned the boycott too. They just didn't blame it on sales and left it at that. They blamed it on that boycott, the boycott, Rev. And so, but back then, Rev, people were saying, what's the most important when Hillary was running against Trump? What's the most important thing that matters to you? People were saying keeping Obamacare. People were saying, just other things. And then they asked me. I said the Supreme Court. That's the most important thing. Get control of that Supreme Court. Where it could have been 6-3. Democrats would have changed black folks' lives for decades. Decades.
Well, let me say this. I think that you are right that about the Supreme Court, and it could have changed our lives for decades. And it is going to be something we're going to have to fight for decades because we didn't put somebody there that would not put the Supreme Court the way it is now. It is absolutely absurd, some of the decisions they're coming down with, but they have a 5-4 conservative majority. I think we also need to fight for term limits there. But again, what I was saying before, Reverend Williams had mentioned, and I talked to the boycotts, some of those that during the boycott out of Minneapolis of Target, it started it in Atlanta. We don't know whether it's good or bad, whether the CEO stepped down. Because the person that they put in there is the COO, and he's the same guy, same administration. So you win boycotts when you get something. We ain't in the job of just getting somebody fired. We in the job of getting economic resources in our community. That's why we got to stay with it. But thank you for your call. Let me go to James in Atlanta, Georgia. James, you're keeping it real with Sharpton and Williams.
We just lost James.
All right. Is Reverend Williams back with us?
Yes, sir.
I'm with you, Rev.
Okay, now we can hear you. Yeah, you were kind of muzzled. Okay.
No, I was just saying we 6 days away, and you couldn't have put it better, Rev. I mean, the fact is this. Don't think that the actions that we're going to take 6 days hasn't been into the calculations of things that corporations and their policy is doing right now. So it makes so more. So as we getting ready to march, we need to know that the march that we are going to step off on is going to trigger some more things. And so, folks who haven't, especially in the local areas in the Northeast region, folks who are on the East Coast, on the fence, trying to make a decision. You can make a quick decision and you can get there. I believe this historic march, because I believe this is a historic march. It hasn't been done before. This is our time to make sure that we show not only as citizens of the United States of America, as we usually do in Washington, D.C., but as consumers. We're demanding not just justice from justice from government, but we're also demanding equity and inclusion and access and opportunity from corporate America. And we're demanding that they be leaders that make sure that when they have their associations and they have their policy institutes and the funds that they put towards policies and everything else, or even their PACs and how they support politicians. All of this is on the table, and it will be on the table, and it will be in every step that we take as we march down Wall Street. So I hope folks join us next Thursday on August the 28th as we step off for justice, step off for peace, step off for power and prosperity for our people.
Absolutely. And you said it best. This is where commerce is guided, benefited, and profit, right there in Wall Street. That's where they do the trades. Yep. That's where the ticker take is. Everything that Trump does, he watches, wait a minute, what is the market saying on Wall Street? So let them get the message Thursday. The market's going to have to say thousands of us outside saying, you're not going to stop DEI without paying a price. You're not going to continue doing what you're doing without paying a price. You're not going to back Trump without paying a price. We have never put them on notice like this. And that's why I think it's imperative that people show up. Show up or shut up. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Keeping it real. Sharpton, Williams. Be right back.
Keeping it real. Of reference. 400 years later, it's time to do some assessing where we came from. While Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina, Mississippi take the hits, the real trade market for commerce and cotton was New York. The port of New York. As a matter of fact, Joe, the first state to end slavery was Vermont. It was all the way up the coast. The big shipbuilders became rich off of our enslavement. Say our people are not slaves, they are our ancestors. They may be slaves to the person, they're our ancestors, they're our foreparents. The money is made off of the commodity. We were the commodity in the commodity exchange. And they would import Africans They export cotton and tobacco. And they built the whole economic system around Wall Street. Africans, because they feared the Indians would attack the Dutch, built a wall on Wall Street. That's what they named it, Wall Street. It's the Africans, with logs and trees, they built a wall around Wall Street to keep the Indians from attacking the Dutch. So Wall Street was named after us. There's a burial ground on Wall Street, which we should all visit. Those are our foreparents. At some point, they moved us to the other end of Manhattan, which is Harlem. So we are on the same island as Manhattan. Manhattan, Harlem, Wall Street, on the same island. Harlem is right down the road from Wall Street. That's interesting that most of our leaders who argued different cases never quite got to march on Wall Street.
That was Reverend Jesse Jackson speaking at National Action Network's House of Justice in 2020, saying that we'd ignored dramatizing, putting the spotlight on the economic inequalities, the economic issues of this country by never having marched on Wall Street en masse. Well, on August 28th, 5 years later, we're going to do just that. Because with this big, beautiful bill, which is a big, ugly bill that cuts Medicaid and SNAP, with the ending of diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and initiatives in the private sector, which gives blacks and others jobs, contracts for businesses, making sure we make the C-suite based on our merit and not excluded because we didn't have the family background in a given place, whether it be academic or business. The people that benefited from that are the ones on Wall Street that deal with the stock markets, that deal with the Dow Jones, that deal with making trade off of the decisions of those that supported the Trump initiatives in this area. So we are not this year going to Washington on the anniversary of the March on Washington. On the anniversary of the March on Washington, we're going to Wall Street. And Reverend Jackson, we're going to do what you said. Thousands of us are going to nonviolently but firmly come and say that the dream cannot be deferred by tax cuts for the rich and cutting those out that need food assistance, that need support with health care and other economic policies that have choked the middle class and the poor. August 28, 2025, go to www.nationalactionnetwork.net, get the details. Meet us 10 a.m. at the African Burial Ground and be ready to march. Buses are coming from all over the country. Go to that website or call 1-877-626-4651. No justice, no peace. Hi, I'm Reverend Al Sharpton, President of National Action Network. August 28, 1963, there were many that gathered in Washington for the historic March on Washington. And many of us grew up hearing the speech Dr. King gave that day, I Have a Dream. But in that speech, he talked about America giving the Negro, blacks, a check that has bounced in the bank of history. So this August 28th, Thursday leading into Labor Day weekend, we that usually go to Washington to commemorate, we're having the Memorial March on Wall Street. Why you going to Wall Street, Reverend Al? Because the people that have benefited from the check bouncing on Medicaid with this big, beautiful bill that took SNAP from people that need food assistance, they're on Wall Street, trading every day, doing the stock market every day. When is the last time we've had a mass march, nonviolent but determined, right there where they know, we know who you are, and we will not support the companies that undermine and finance our being destabilized. Join me, the National Action Network, and Martin Luther King III, August 28th, 10 a.m. We're going to march from the African burial ground just 1 mile to the Bull in the middle of Wall Street and have our rally. I want the faith community particularly to be there. Dr. King always built from the church. We need to be a witness in these times. People say, Reverend Al, I'm tired of marching. I say, what's the last march you've been to? Most of you never marched. This is your time to show up and stand up. God bless you. Back 1-877-532-5797, and Reverend Charles Williams II is our co-host. Don't forget, tomorrow watch Saturday and Sunday 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Watch Politics Nation with Al Sharpton live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on MSNBC. And over the weekend, as I've been saying, I'm going to have the ranking member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. I want to know what is the real deal going on in Africa as well as Gaza as well as Ukraine. I'm going to have on Texas State Rep Nicole Collier, who was the one who sat in all night and refused to sign to give them the permission to have a police with her at all times to make sure she showed up to the chamber where they were disenfranchising her and the people in Texas, what they're doing with this redistricting. We're going to have her on. We're going to have on others that are dealing with, as we do this countdown, we have Councilman at Large in Washington, D.C. Watch both nights, Saturday and Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on MSNBC. You that are in the New York area, meet me or beat me to the Saturday Action Rally in the morning, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the House of Justice, 145th Street and Lenox Avenue. And we're going to be rallying, getting ready for the big march Thursday. You that are around the country, we have buses leaving from, I think, 12 cities, one of them Detroit with Reverend Williams. And the bus, I don't know, somebody asked how much of the buses. We are, in most of the cities, we are totally paid the buses. And so don't let nobody tell you, I ain't got the money. You ain't got to pay for the ride. Now you got to get your own sandwich or sandwich, whatever you do. But we definitely want everybody to be there for this historic march. You that have not signed up can do so now. We still have some seats available around the country. Go to www.nationalactionnetwork.net or call the toll-free number 1-877-626-4651. Reverend Williams, what's going on at Michigan, Detroit National Action Network tomorrow?
Rev, we're making our last push. I think on bus number 2, I'm hearing that there may be some small space available, so you can come and you can make sure you can take advantage of that. The second thing is we got a governor's race, we got a Secretary of State race, we got a Secretary of State candidate, Michigan, that's going to be showing up. A go-go at Def B, he's showing up to the National Action Network Saturday Action Rally. We want to make sure you get the opportunity to hear from him. as well as we're going to hear from Jocelyn Benson and so many others, as well as Mike Duggan, as these races continue to heat up. So just make sure you join us tomorrow as we prepare to also go out and register some folks to vote. If you care about what happens in the mayoral election in the city of Detroit, then join our voter registration team as we prepare to go out and make a positive impact on this election. That's Saturday, 10 a.m., the historic King Solomon Baptist Church, 6100 14th Street. We'll see you there.
Let's go to Percy Johnson, the labor man, the activist extraordinaire in labor right there in Detroit. Percy. I don't hear Percy. All right, I don't hear Percy. I don't know if his phone is muted or what.
You hear me?
I hear you now, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Reverend Williams. Reverend L said, show up or shut up.
That's right. Show up or shut up. That's right.
Yeah, show up or shut up. So we going to be there. So, hey, man. So we got 3 buses coming from Detroit, dog. We got the Union coming.
Right.
We got UAW coming. We all loaded up. We filled to the max, man. So we gonna be there, man.
That's great.
Hey, Reverend Al, give me I didn't. So this African Barrel area that we leaving from, I never heard about it until you mentioned it. That's where we walking from, and we going to Wall Street. I didn't even know that Wall Street was where they were docking at one time with our men,
That's right,
women, bringing them in the country. What's the little history on that burial area?
The 2 largest ports of slave trade was Wall Street, New York, and Charleston, South Carolina. That's where they brought in more slaves than any other places in the country. Many of the slaves that were brought across the Atlantic had died on the passage. They buried right there on Wall Street because they had died coming across the Atlantic, those that they didn't just throw overboard. And they had the slaves that they did have fight the Native Americans, because the Native Americans, the Dutch and the British that had come here and taken their land, was battling them. They had the slaves fighting and build a wall. That's why it's called Wall Street. They built a wall to protect them from the Native Americans that they were fighting. The Africans that fought in those battles are buried at Wall Street. So it's our original forefathers that died coming across in the transatlantic trade, and those that fought and built the wall and between the battles between the whites and the Native Americans.
Wow. So they fought to build a wall to be a slave.
And that's right. And that's why they call it Wall Street.
So that's why we got to stay encouraged. Bottom line, we done been through some rough roads to get to where we are. We standing on shoulders of some solid, strong people. And Reverend Williams and Al, our focus is to encourage our folks to get out here and get civically engaged, man. Get out here and do your part so we can have the communities and be lifted up the way we should be. And I'm going to plug this in, I'm going to get off. Also, when these census come out, y'all, fill these census out.
Yeah.
That's our money we supposed to be getting. That's our money. And if you don't fill it out, that's money you turn it down, they'll bring it to your community. So looking forward to seeing you, Reverend Mal.
All right, make sure you come right up. I need to see you. I need to see that smiling face, Percy Johnson. Let me go to Cleveland. They got a bus coming out of Cleveland from the irrepressible president of the Greater Cleveland Chapter National Action Network, Marcia McCoy. How you doing, Marcia?
We're doing well, and we just love our leader, our fearless leader, our Midwest Region Director. Listen, we have an election coming up. I've never felt so bullied than our politics at its best. But September the 9th, everyone, if you're living in Cleveland, we are voting September 9th on City Council. And that's all we have to do is vote for city council. Come on, Bishop.
Dr. Al Sharpton.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Charles Williams.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Missed you last week, my brother. Hold my mule. The phrase "to form a more perfect union" comes from the preamble to the U.S. Constitution. It is the second clause in the preamble, following "We the people of the United States." It was done to create a stronger, more unified nation than before. A nation that together could establish justice, ensuring domestic tranquility, providing for the common defense, promoting the general welfare, and securing the blessings of liberty for the American people. What we have in America today is the absolute antithesis of this majestic goal. If we are not propitiously careful, this nation is gradually being turned into an autocracy and a dictatorship. Hitlerism is in the air, and his poison is corroding the atmosphere. We are no less than a demon possessing and legally poisoning this country. Supreme Court granting a convicted felon immunity. A silent Senate puppet Speaker of the House, a wannabe dictator to make America privileged white again. Democracy is in peril. Justice is denied. And the civil rights and economic rights of poor and marginalized people are in total jeopardy. All of this progress made by black and brown people in the last 60 years is being gutted, rolled back, and obliterated. This great nation was built on the backs of free labor of our forefathers and mothers. These evil, notorious conspirators are trying to rewrite history and make it appear that we are non-existent and non-deserving of equal justice under the law. If they are successful, this democracy will be turned into an autocracy and a dictatorship with a convicted criminal felon as its leader. Heaven forbid that this immediate cancerous threat becomes a reality. Dr. Al Sharpton will never bow to Trump's insidious, egregious efforts to rewrite history and denigrate black and brown people. If there ever were a time when vigilance, wokeness, and voter participation was needed, that time is right now. Right now. Nobody understands and senses this scenario any better than our illustrious and distinguished leader, the Reverend Dr. Al Sharpton. He is cognizant of the trends this country is attending. By joining the National Action Network, you are not just talking the talk, but you are walking the walk towards stopping this bigoted, racist, white supremacist take over the United States government. We must not remain silent. If you listen to Keeping It Real with Dr. Al Sharpton and don't belong to this illustrious organization of action, you are not helping to stem the tide of justice, equality, and freedom. Believe me, my brothers and my sisters, it's on the line. Justice, equality, equity, and freedom is in peril in this nation. Silence is suicidal. Act today. Be a member of the National Action Network. Get in the game. Let us prevent these crooks from destroying democracy. Call Dr. McCoy. She'll hook you up. Thank you, Doctor.
216-ditto. 216-374-0913. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And that brings us right to the end. Thank you, Reverend Charles Williams. Let me thank all of you that called in, listened in, you that called in and couldn't get through, but hung in there anyhow. Remember, whatever you do, wherever you go, however you feel, tell somebody, tell anybody, tell everybody. Reverend Al told you personally, keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real. I'll talk to you Monday. Keep it real. Hi, I'm Reverend Al Sharpton, National Action Network. August 28th, 1963, there were many that gathered in Washington for the historic March on Washington. And many of us grew up hearing the speech Dr. King gave that day, I Have a Dream. But in that speech, he talked about America giving the Negro, blacks, a check that is bounced in the bank of history. So this August 28th, Thursday leading into Labor Day weekend, we that usually go to Washington to commemorate We're having the Memorial March on Wall Street. Why are you going to Wall Street, Reverend Al? Because the people that have benefited from the check bouncing on Medicaid with this big, beautiful bill that took SNAP from people that need food assistance, they're on Wall Street, trading every day, doing the stock market every day. When is the last time we've had a mass march, nonviolent but determined, right there where they know, we know who you are, and we will not support the companies that undermine and finance our being destabilized. Join me, the National Action Network, and Martin Luther King III, August 28th, 10 a.m. We're going to march from the African burial ground just 1 mile to the Bull in the middle of Wall Street and have our rally. I want the faith community particularly to be there. Dr. King always built from the church. We need to be a witness in these times. People say, Reverend Al, I'm tired of marching. I say, what's the last march you've been to? Most of you've never marched. This is your time to show up and stand up. God bless you.